Hello everyone. Today we have with us Samartha Siddhartha.
Yeah. Hi.
Samartha, thank you so much for pulling out time from your
Yeah.
busy schedule. It means a lot.
Same here. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Pleasure. So, Bombay Stock Exchange is what Samartha worked with.
Yeah.
Then he worked with Edelweiss. Edelweiss Financial Services is one of the leading companies in the space of investment banking as well. And then
Yeah.
worked with Virtue Analytics, ST. Then he joined one of the big four companies, PwC, as a senior consultant. And today,
Yeah.
as we speak, Samartha is working with Accenture
Yeah.
as AI decision science consultant.
Yeah.
So we would directly learn from the practitioner today
Yeah.
on what are a few of the real world projects that you have handled, which you felt was extremely challenging to deal with. Yeah, over to you, Saman.
So I've been since the buzzword around the AI started, right? So every client across the globe is seeking, right, how we can make the best use of it and how to implement it. And the good part that AI has done has bridged the gap between domain and technology. So in many cases, we see that there is a mismatch between the domain and the technology and that gap was huge prior to this AI thing coming across. So the problems that we have. So currently, I am dealing in the pharma space, and in the pharma space, we have huge amount of textual context data, which is captured across the globe, and we have like multiple pharmaceutical clients who are like continuously giving feedbacks on medicines. We have doctors who are giving feedbacks on medicine, and this is like a huge data set for a big pharma giant. And what are they looking forward is basically to extract some insights out of it, which insights they can make some decisions based on it. So for example, if there is a medicine, there are some reactions in certain specific areas, like for example, that is not in India, maybe in UK people are seeing those reactions. And ideally, before AI coming into space, what there was an insights lead who used to go through all of these texts and used to summarize and used to get out some of this information. But with AI coming in and bridging the gap, so it makes people insights lead who are like they have a great knowledge of domain, but they may not know how to write code or may not know how to use complex NLP models. So they can directly just choose that data and maybe search on it, have a textual conversation with that data, and some like maybe look it as a scenario, look it as a doctor at this data, look at this data as a, you can have personas also there. So this is how this is bridging the gap, and maybe the looking at the data is coming from multiple dimensions there. So that's how it is being used, and that saves time, that saves, and it's also bringing a lot of structure, as far as, because if there are five people sitting at different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and they have their own ways of doing research, and they may not be correct also. So what it does is basically they bring on a structure, and how this is also drafting the marketing brochures, and how it is also drafting the conversations that a salesman has with a, so there is a structure to the the conversation that is happening between an HCP and the medical representative in that case. And that's how this is being used. That's how it is being used. And we also built a kind of a POC where we were text to SQL, right? So maybe SQL is a difficult thing for people, but it is very straightforward thing. And people need to query data. The ideal process would be like a domain person reaching out to a DE team, which data engineering team will fetch that information and give it back to you. That would take a lot of time, and because that needs specific set of data and the requirement is specific. So with AI coming into space, that domain person can directly write something in contextual text, and which can convert into a SQL query, and we can fetch that information, and maybe it can have a conversation with the data, so like what is, like, what are the insights, how can this be used. And I think it's bringing a lot of structure, and it's making the best part about AI is it's universal, right? So it's not like it is something, not something which is hidden. It comes across like everyone can use it. It comes handy. I just need somebody to know basic English to understand it and make use of it. So that's how. And people are running after AI, how best they can use it, and they are trying everywhere, wherever, in whichever use case they can use it. So that's what is happening in the industry right now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Samartha. So, a few of the key things that you have highlighted is text to SQL.
Yeah.
So, people need not worry about sending an email to a data engineer or a
Yeah.
SQL developer and say that, hey, this is the data that I need. They
Yeah.
need not send an email to BI developer, a
Yeah.
data analyst saying that, hey, this is the kind of analysis I would need. Instead, they can just issue an English like prompt.
Yeah.
Obviously, prompts are English. And then
Yeah.
this would get converted into a SQL query, go fetch the data, and then show the results the way you want.
Yeah.
There you go, friends. This is one of the very interesting use cases thanks to emergence of Gen AI.
Yeah.
So the second question is, Samartha, there are close to 8 lakh students who are coming
Yeah.
out of colleges every year
Yeah.
in the space of BTech in data science, BTech in AI, ML, computer science, etc. Right? And they're finding it very hard to get a job because majority of the students are from tier 2 and tier 3, where
Yeah.
the faculty also don't have enough exposure to the real world projects.
Yeah.
Given these challenges, how should we, or what are the pointers that you want to give to the youth of the country so that they don't feel left out from the mainstream when it comes to the job market? And how can they become job ready?
So as I said, right, so technology is something that can be picked up. Like a Python developer can be from, like, a fresh graduate or a person who's working for 10 years. But I think what will make a difference in coming 3 years is having a domain knowledge. And the most important thing is to articulate a problem. So I think basic English and not missing on the details, right, is the most critical thing that we look in a person, right? So I think the youth, I'm not being specific, but I think we in conversations are very casual when we talk, right? Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But if we can draft that problem, right, in a semantic way where we do not leave any loose ends, like a law document, like a legal document, right? In a legal document, people from litigation, right, can take your job. It's because when they are drafting a document, right, so they make specific, they don't leave any open-ended questions, right? So that is important. And understanding technology is like how this is happening is more important than how it should be done. So having that structure in your thought process, right? How is the data fetched, how is the data stored, and what is the throughput? And maybe getting to the understanding of like how can the architecture be, right? And how can we can best use, because everything is available online. And they should do a lot of go out there and pick up some random topics, right? Which is not relevant, and do their own work, makes their own POCs and show them to their clients, right? To the clients or the interview, which is eventually a client only. So you have to go do as much. We have basic concepts of langchain, basic concepts of vector DB. These are something basics, right? So something, how to handle embeddings, how to how is the NLP models understand this language. So you don't need to get to the details of it, but yeah, making sure how to use it, right? So the only benefit that AI is giving is not giving the right answer, right? So that is where the jobs are secured, right? If it starts, the hallucination stops, and it's give me the definite answer for every question, I think the humans will not be needed anymore. So that's like, so the hallucination is saving our jobs. This is how I feel, but hopefully, yeah. So that's how.
Yeah, absolutely well said. Hallucination, the moment, large language models get rid of this problem, then yeah, truly, a lot of people will be in trouble.
Yeah.
But AI will replace jobs. As opposed to that, AI will replace those people who don't use AI or who don't learn AI, basically, right? Certainly.
So that's how history have been, right? So it's not specifically AI, right? Yeah. So back in the days when our fathers used to work in banks, right? When the computer came in, the ledger went out. So that's how you have to make sure that you are always up your game, whether it's AI in future, if any other thing comes across, right? You have to keep your game up there. if you're not adapting to, so you have to like Google, like people, I have like my father has inhibitions in you asking Google and implement and using Google Maps, for example. So I think the generation before us are not even happy with the Google Maps because they feel like they know the ways better than Google Map. But yeah, so that's how adaptation is something. It's the yeah.
Absolutely, that's there in the human genes itself. Basically, people keep saying that it's not the smartest, it's not the strongest to survive. It's the species which was adapting to the ever-changing nature, and that's human race. Thank you so much, Samartha. And Samartha is very clearly saying that whenever you work on a project, please try to articulate the problem in a proper manner, as opposed to at a superficial level saying that I built a prediction model to predict loan defaulters.
Yeah.
This alone will not help. Delve deeper into that. Give something to the interviewer which they have never heard about, right?
Yes.
Then they will also get engaged in the conversation, and probably people will start cracking the interviews. Thank you so much, Samartha, once again for your time. It means a lot.
Same here.
Do stay in touch. Thank you.